Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading Satellite Office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Wednesday, August the 22nd, 2012, and here is today's After the Bell Market Summary. I want to start by taking a look to see how the indices closed. The Dow Jones closed down 30.82. The Nasdaq closed up 6.41. The S&P 500 closed up 0.32. We had a lot of bullish action today in some names such as Amazon, eBay, Discover Card Financial. We'll take a look at those charts shortly in the video. But overall, the breadth was still to the downside. We had 2,420 stocks advancing, and we had 3,744 stocks declining on the NYSE, NASDAQ, and AMEX. But again, we had some decent action in the materials sector. We had some decent action in the technology sector. And we'll go ahead and take a look at those charts. All right, so let's start off by first taking a look at the Qs. The Qs are still hovering right here by the April highs. All right, we hit a high yesterday on the Qs of 68.88 before reversing, and you can see here we're still holding the rising 8 EMA. I'm sorry, the 8 SMA and EMA around 67.82. As long as we can hold above really the 67 level, this area right here, which I should highlight green now, we should be in pretty decent shape to continue to trend higher. As long as stocks like Amazon and Apple continue to act well, you can expect the Qs to trend higher. As it is the strongest index out there, has the best setup on the monthly and the weekly. And I say that because if you take a look at the Qs last year, they were trading in a range. This year they broke out at the beginning of the year. This is the weekly chart, by the way. They pulled back to 60, all right, and now we're back at these highs right here. So, this is a perfect range break play, breakout play, back test, and up move on a weekly time frame. So that's a pretty decent pattern, much cleaner than the SPY, the IWM, and the Dow Jones. So watch these technology stocks, and they are doing as we should expect them to do. As Amazon is close to hitting its new all-time highs, such like Apple. I believe this is the next stock that's going to go and catch up with Apple. We were calling this out in the chat room all day today. Gave it trigger to the long side around 240, and we're calling the 245 strike weekly call options that were just on fire. They moved from a low of 99 cents down all the way down to 60, and from 60 all the way back over 2, I believe. But just a couple of things that we were calling in the chat room: eBay, AEO. So some decent action out there, guys. You got to make sure you pick your spots right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the SPY daily chart. We remain right below this key trend line that I that was showing on my chart before when I used to do a lot of the videos with the SPY, which, like I said, going forward, I'm going to have a lot of videos. All my videos will have the SPY and the ES, since I know some of the retail traders out there that watch these videos, they don't track the futures. So anyway, that's something that we'll have in the videos. And the SPY, the level you want to watch in the SPY is 140, which is the same thing as 1400 on the ES. So those two levels, that is the key level to watch in the SPY, 140. To the top side, you want to watch 143. And the SPY still continue. The SPY remains above its 8 EMA and SMA. And then right below it, you have at 140, you have the 20-day simple and exponential movement average on the daily chart. So there's some decent support around that 140 area. So if we do pull back to that level, that could be a good level to initiate some longs. We'll have to see how we hold up this week, but just something to keep in mind. Taking a look at the IWM still remains above this little downward channel break that we've been tracking for the past couple weeks here, and still looks like it's in good shape to go much higher. Okay, but it needs some consolidation around these levels, and if they can hold it above, say, 80 or even 79, even if it pulls back to 79 and we hold that level, that would be pretty good as well. These patterns usually pull back and put like a higher low in versus the candlesticks that were inside of the channel. That's how I've been studying them, and that's how it usually plays out. And we actually have some of these setups that we catch intraday on the smaller time frame, such as the 5-minute, these nice little downward channel break plays. So IWM looks good as well. Needs to hang in there and hold above 80, consolidate a little bit, and we could get a nice little move in the small caps as well to follow the SPY and the Qs, which look like they want to continue going higher. A good sector that's moving right now. Obviously, if you guys are tracking the markets, you guys should know that the gold stocks are on a tear right now. GLD making its a nice move higher, getting a nice close above the 200-day simple moving average, and this thing looks like it wants to go up here towards 163. This is a commodity that we've been tracking for the past couple of weeks, highlighting the fact that it broke this little downward trend line and it was hovering right here. And then for the fact that silver broke out the day before yesterday, before gold, was an interesting sign that, all right, gold usually moves first. So obviously, if that silver sticks, people are going to start going into gold, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. You didn't really get a tradable day yesterday, but today was a good day to trade the GLD as that thing got rocking there once the FOMC minutes came out. And if you take a look at the gold futures contract, you had the nice little tight triangle right there, and that the futures contract is trading above the 200-day simple moving average on the daily time frame. All right, next target on the gold futures will be around the 1680 level, which is about 20 bucks higher, and then probably 1700 and then 1720, depends how high this gold wants to get rocking here. All right, taking a look at silver, since all the precious metals are making higher moves here. SLV looks like it wants to run up into the 2950 zone, which is the kind of the middle zone between the 200-day exponential and simple moving average on the daily time frame. Keep these precious metal stocks in play, especially if you are an intraday trader, as I'm pretty sure people are going to be looking to buy them on the dips, and that will be good for you, as you'll be able to trade around those intraday levels. So that looks good. Amazon, we talked about Amazon. Amazon, I'm pretty sure, wants to break to new highs. Keep an eye on this stock right here for a momentum move. If it takes out 245 tomorrow and the markets have a nice up day, this stock could get rocking and possibly make new highs sometime tomorrow or sometime this week before before the end of the week, I should say. So keep an eye on that. eBay again had the good news. I don't like how it closed, but it did give you a nice intraday tradable pattern. If you take a look at the 5-minute chart here and you take a look at the pre-market action, the key level to watch on this that we were watching was the 47 level. All right, we were actually able to get involved around 47.13 and piece them out around the 47.80 level. And I go over this trade in our midday market update, which you guys can find. That usually gets released around 1:30, 1:45 or so. Try to get it out before 2, but that usually gets released, and that goes over some of the morning trades that we make. So that stock was moving today. Discover Card Financial, that stock got moving today, and there was a lot of decent action on the board. Apple, Google, Amazon, Google, they were showing relative strength early in the morning. You have Apple, just fought right back from yesterday's losses. And if we take a look at Google as well, Google was showing a nice little range breakout play in the intraday here. All right, let me go ahead and show you guys that. That thing ran up right on the open, consolidated sideways, nice little tight little flag, broke out, pulled back in, chopped around the top of the flag, never really sold off, held it, and this thing just continued trading higher. So Google remains a strong stock to keep on watch. Amazon, eBay, even though I don't like how it closed, eBay. Again, AEO was a strong stock today. Some of these specialty retail stores are starting to shape up, or trying to shape up, I should say, like Lulu. But AEO, you can see this one looks good to go. We take a look at Lulu. Lulu's hanging in there. Nice little downward channel break play, as you can see here. And as long as it hovers above that downward channel, doesn't sell off, all the way back in, and into the channel, then it's in good shape. Then you should be expecting it for it to put either a higher low in versus one of these lows inside the channel, or you expect it to consolidate sideways and just build like a nice little base off of to move higher. As this is a reversal pattern. These little downward bullish channels when they play out accordingly. So that's another stock to keep on watch. Let me take a look at DEC. I know DEC is in the same sector, specialty retail, and that one's just hanging in there. So the coal stocks are moving pretty good as well. CNX being the strongest coal stock. BTU's acting pretty well. I'm wondering if WLT wants to catch up. I'm keeping a close eye on this trend line right here on WLT. You guys do remember WLT is one of the coal stocks that a lot of people are looking to buy out. But every time everybody talks about buying the company just, I guess, they just pull the bid, or they don't sell. They just decline it, and whoever wants to buy the company, they could possibly buy it cheaper. The stock is much lower now, probably has a better valuation for them to make a decent profit from purchasing it. Either way, what I'm trying to say is that I want to keep an eye on the stock if it gets a nice little breakout right here. It has a possible inverse head and shoulders pattern that could be playing out right here. So keep an eye on that. I like this setup right here. And let's take a look at the dollar. I'm just doing a general market overview here. So let's take a look at the dollar. The dollar did get that nice little sell-off that we highlighted before from this little channel break. All right, and we talked about the precious metals and the commodities. If you guys watch a video from Monday, I go over this, or even the weekend video, I believe. We talked about looking for a move for a drop in the dollar as we had this nice little downward move, sideways action, which is indicative of another move lower, and we got that this week. So if the dollar does not hold above 81.50, we could get some more selling pressure down towards 80.79, which is a 200-day simple and exponential moving average on the daily time frame here. And that obviously gives a room for more upside in the markets and more upside in some of these precious metals and some of these commodity stocks. One stock that I am watching is U.S. Steel. Right, I like the pattern that U.S. Steel has. I'm going to be eyeing the call options on this to see if there's any suspicious activity or any suspicious buying activity in any of the call options on certain strikes or whatever. But you do have a nice pattern right here. You have a nice little W pattern right on the daily time frame. Breakout holding above the top of the W in a tight little flag. Keep an eye on this one. If it breaks over 23 with force and then takes out yesterday's high around 23.44, we can get a nice move. But take a look how it's doing a lot of shaking and baking on here, right? Shaking and baking. Excuse me. We have the I like to call this shake and bake Ricky Bobby, but anyway, we have the upward action closing the lows. We have the downward action closing the highs. Upward action closing the lows. Downward action closing the highs. So this is just a nice little battle going on right here between the bulls and the bears. And when somebody wins this, you're going to have a nice explosive move. So keep X on watch. AKS looks like another steel stock that's holding up pretty well. You have AKS. Take a look at AKS up there. And then take a look at another one you could take a look at is Nucor, NUE. NUE looks much better than AKS and U.S. Steel. So keep that one on watch as well. Nice little upward channel that's taking place right there. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe to the My Wall Street TV YouTube channel to get our intraday midday market updates and anything else that we want to put out for you guys to help you guys get an edge and keep you on the right side of the market. So I'm Channel Guy Trader, and I am signing out. Have a great night, guys. Later.